Let me how far you have gone out of it. Since you thought of it, established it. Pay more grease to your elbow. Let me appreciate the presence of other leaders who are here. But I don't know which one of the title you have that I should. Huh? Your Excellency, which one? Well, I'm happy that you are here. Let me appreciate others that are here. Let me appreciate. I think when we were there, Sita would have been one of the youngest. But the young shall grow. He has even grown beard and grey one as such. Thank you for inviting me. I think what you have asked me to comment on slightly different from what I have here. The Nigerian we want. Now you said I should talk about leadership. I am now torn apart. Is it this one that I should talk about or leadership? Let me talk a little bit about leadership. Yes. But I don't want to take too much of your time going on a monologue, because we will all benefit more with dialogue than monologue. There may be some ideas in your mind or some issues that you really will want to put on the floor for us to discuss. But if we are going to talk about leadership, then the question I will ask is, who is a leader? Anybody want to try? We are even all afraid of trying to give definition of a leader. Okay, if you are afraid, why don't we say a leader is one who leads? Would that be correct? A leader is one who leads. What that means is that in all walks of life, we need leaders. Because in all walks of life, you need people who will lead. So a leader is someone who leads. Then what must someone who leads, what must he be? armed with? What sort of person must he be if you are going to lead? First, you must have knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you are a zero leader. Zero. The military valued leadership, probably more than any other. Not that they value it, they even value it to the point of almost worshiping it. And the reason is because of what I call the importance of leadership. Knowledge. Very, very important. When I finished my training in UK, time was what? A little bit 12 years after the end of the World War. And the British have what they call British Army of the Rhine. And it was as close to war front get to be posted to Germany and serve with any of the British Army unit there. And I served with what they call King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry. My company commander was totally ignorant. Totally ignorant. Was one of those who was made an officer during the war with inadequate training and inadequate preparation. We had that during our Civil War. We look at somebody who was all right, we give him field rank. We call it field. Go beyond that place where we give it to him because it's not recorded in the Army headquarters. They don't even know. The Army headquarters didn't know about him. And this captain was more or less like that. And I just came out of training. I knew all the new doctrine, all the new tactics. And because we have something they call 2-inch mortar, and it's smaller than 3-inch mortar. Because the 2-inch mortar couldn't go too far. And even during the Second World War, it caused a lot of what do you call it? Those who died as a result of the war. It caused a lot of casualty. Caused a lot of casualty among own troops. So, as a result, the army has banned the use of what they call high explosive, HE, 2-inch mortar. They allow is smoke, which could not do much harm. And then we went on exercise with our captain, the OC of our company. And then we get there. And Lieutenant Obasanjo, what will you use in that? said, sir, I will use machine gun. He said, you are wrong, you are wrong. You should use. Of course, I couldn't say no, because he was the one who was wrong. And but when we exercised and we came back to the mess, one lieutenant like me came to me and said, you didn't agree with the OC when he asked you to use HE 2-inch mortar. I said, I didn't. He said, why didn't you? I said, well, I know he was, and I was right, but what is the point in me arguing with him when he is my boss? A wise man. I don't know whether I was a wise man or not. But I knew that throughout my stay with that battalion, I knew that my OC had no knowledge. And my respect for him went almost to zero. Of course, as my boss, he remained my boss, but I knew that. So he was a leader. He was a leader that I will not even go to war with. Because with the knowledge he has, so archaic, he will be the one who will be my undoing in war. So knowledge is very, very important, and accurate knowledge. But I won't bore you teamwork and team leadership and all that you will get. But one thing, my office, I give 20 leadership principles, factors. You say we rather than I and all that. But I ended the 20th, which is the fear of God and proximity to God. The fear of God and proximity to God. You probably won't get that in any leadership book. But when you are a leader and you do not fear God, then you are a dangerous leader. When you are a leader and you are not close to God, you are a leader not to be close to. So, leadership is very important. And as I said, the military put a very, very test on it. So the thing is this, whether in the military, in the private sector, in the diplomatic world, politics, wherever you may choose to look at, leadership is very important. And the principles are basically the same. Basically the same. Point is, be a leader and a good leader. You must have certain characteristics, certain attributes. Knowledge is good enough, good rather, but not enough. How honest are you? How diligent are you? What is your level of integrity? What values do you stand for? What can we say about you? A man of compassion, a woman of compassion. What are the values that you cherish? What are the attributes? They're very, very important. For me, character, values, attributes matter very much to me. I'm not saying that but look at the people. Will forgive me to make reference to the book that I'm familiar with. The Bible. Moses was a great leader, but he wasn't without sin. He even committed murder. And yet, God singled him out to be the one to take the children of Israel out of Egypt. And God did the same with David. David was the murderer. The good thing about David is that he never committed the same sin twice. But there are 10 commandments given to Moses. David disobeyed 8 of them. So if you fail in 8 out of 10, you get only 20%. And yet, God described him as a man after my heart. A man after God's heart. What did God see in him? To so describe him. Else. He was a great man. Look at the prank he played on his brother. Of course, maybe you can say he's having his own back. What I'm trying to emphasize is that, yes, God has chosen you as a leader. Don't flinch. Don't flinch. Make yourself available as a leader. And serve. Serve humanity and God as God wants you to serve. Let me now end on that by saying that in you and in me, there's innate leadership quality. In you and in me, there's innate leadership quality. And the good thing about leadership is that it can be acquired, it can be enhanced, you can be trained. And that's part of what you are doing here. Again, I thank you for doing this. And this is an opportunity. Take every advantage of it. I think when we have question and answer, You can ask me questions on that. Let's now look at this. Nigeria, we want bridging generational. There are 6 words there that are key, that I will want us to just quickly, so 7 minutes, look at. Many people don't believe in Nigeria. And don't let us deceive ourselves. And if you don't believe in Nigeria, how can you start talking about Nigeria? How can you talk about something you don't believe in? And to believe in Nigeria, you have to be a Nigerian. I don't say that you have to be born in Nigeria. Being born in Nigeria does not make you a Nigerian. And I used to say, and that you will find action and reaction. Give me a Nigerian, I will probably go places with him or her. But you have to believe Nigeria before we can talk about Nigeria. Some people still believe that it's what do they call it? Geographical expression. Tell me which country is not geographical expression. Don't tell me, unless my geography has gone sour. Tell me which country is not geographical expression. But every country has history, how they came about. And the fact of the history of how you come about does not matter, does not mean that your country can be a country that you will love and cherish and hope for the best for. So first of all, we have to accept that Nigeria is ours. We love it. We cherish it. It's imperfect. We will come back to that. Nigeria, you have no alternative, no other country. So if we now agree that Nigeria is a country that we believe must be treated as a country, then we go to the next one. We, that's taking, not just you. We. And we must mean that we get critical mass of us, who will talk of we. And that critical mass matters. Critical mass matters. I will say here, well, what you are doing is very good. But we need 10, 20, 30 of years doing what you are doing for us to be able to critical mass. We it's what we want. Because what we want at times is what we need. Is it what we want or what we need or what we desire? When will we go for? All of them. What is all of them? What we need and what we desire. But it must be something that comes from us. Let's say what we want and what we need. Where we want and we need. We need. What's the next? Bridge. Bridge is very important too. Before you go to generation, bridging is very important, which means there's a gap. There's a gap between my age and your age. I always say this, the generation that gave us independence, whatever we may say about them, some said they gave it to us on a platter of gold, that's why we don't know how to make use of it. Say whatever you like to say, they gave us independence. Some say, well, they didn't fight for it. If you want to go and fight for it, go and do your own fighting. They gave us independence. And we must be grateful to them. Whatever else you want to say about them. My generation, I won't say it's a perfect generation, but we fought for the unity of Nigeria. That's no yoke. It's a serious thing. My generation fought for the unity of this country. You may say, yes, the army came and they caused kata. Say whatever you like. But my generation, which may also be part of those in the army that caused kata, also for unity of this country. And you cannot. We also lay the foundation of democracy. We also, you want to accept it or not? We fought for the unity of this country. We lay the foundation of democracy. Then Pierre said the next generation is Osita's generation. I don't know where Pierre is putting himself. Maybe he's putting himself between Osita's generation and my generation. Osita, where do you want us to put him? Same with you. In between. Now, but on a serious note, I will say, after us, what will they claim? What will they claim? That you must think about. What will you be your claim? What will you say? But between the generations, there is gap to be bridged. There's gap. Valley to be breached. That is why gathering like this is important. What do I know that you do not know? What are your aspirations that may not be my own aspiration? I grew up in a village. I entered secondary school in a town. I never saw a telephone. And the telephone in my secondary school never rang for all the years that I was in that secondary school. I grew up. I never wore a pair of shoes until I was in Form 3. Now you can see the difference between me and my children. I grew up to when I would see television, it was black and white and only one station. When it became 2 stations, you had to get up and go and change to the second station. Then, when television started having remote control, I didn't know how to use the remote control. My children will say, "Dad, come on, give it to us, we change it." Now, but then, what they know that I may not know, not anywhere what I know that they do not know. And it is only through interaction, through dialogue, through this type of meeting that we can have that bridging of the gap between generations. That's what you call generational gap to be bridged. I think for now I will stop there, except something that I saw and what you sent to me here. And that is, in our bridging the gap, the generational gap, we need to have common objective. Are we bridging? That common objective, I think in the paper you sent to me, you call it vision. Because otherwise, what are we, what do you and I agree on? That is a problem. Call it, if you like, commonality of purpose, call vision. Guiding light, if you like, principles that we should live by, or better still, dream. Dream. What should be the content of our dream? What should our dream be composed of? What should dream be made of? We cannot dream without remembering the past. Our history must come into consideration. If we lose our dream, if we lose our history, memory. And if we lose our memory, it means that you won't even remember what you ate last night. You need to remember that. History must come in consideration when we start considering our dream. Culture must come into it. Values must come into it. What I call common desires and human commonality. Or human commonality. You want life. I want life. That's common to us. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter your race. Doesn't matter your religion. You like life and good life. Madam, don't you? I do. Lord, that is something that is common to us. Doesn't matter which tribe you claim to be, which religion you prefer or you profess. Same blood that is in you, that is in me. We have commonality of blood. That reason, there's no difference between you. Because you love life, I love life. Your blood is the same as my blood. There's no. We have the same identity. Commonality, life, I put blood, and humanity. You are a human being. Character may be a little bit. You are still a human being. You love peace, I love peace. Not love peace. Love security. But one thing about security is that it's not be security for you alone. Security for you and insecurity for your neighbor. That will not work. It must be common security. Common security. And of course, prosperity. It must be shared prosperity. Common security and shared prosperity. These are common. These are desirable. What we all desire, what we all want, and what we all need. I just want to talk about two countries. I've agreed that we call it dream, with vision and all that. America. In 1931, one American called Troslow Adam coined what he called American dream. And he sees that dream as a land in which life should be better, richer, fuller for everyone, with opportunity for everybody according to his ability or achievement. There's something in it for everybody. Of course, they did not forget how they came to America. Initially, because they were displeased. That was at the back of their mind. They didn't get opportunity. That was at the back of their mind. Adam's dream captured everybody's imagination in America. They are of American dream. And when you ask them what is American dream, invariably they give you the add to it or embellish it in one form or the other. Not too long ago, 11 years ago, President of China came up with a stated dream for China. What is it? It was based on what he called a century of humiliation. And then never again will China be humiliated. But a century of humiliation. Do not shy away from their history. They were humiliated even by the Japanese. And he said, never again. They took into consideration. We are running from our history. We are covering up our history. The history of Nigeria is part of our history. That was an attempt at secession in this country. It was part of our history. Why do we want to cover that up? It's part of our history that there was a coup in this country and there was Araba. What is Araba? Right. That's part of our history. Why should we should learn the right lesson from it? It was part of our history that a leader in this country was sentenced to prison for treason. It's part of our history. And we should learn the right lesson from it. We shouldn't cover it up. What lesson can we learn? And what can it inform? History guide our dream. What is the Nigerian dream? Should we have a dream? Of course, I believe we should have a dream. What should be the content of our dream? We should not run away from our history. I've said that. There should be no holier than thou. We have all gone wrong. We have all offended ourselves. And do mutual forgiveness and then put the past behind us and move forward. Oh, yes, this is bad. This particular one is bad. If it's bad, we are all bad. There's so much bad in the best of us, and so much good in the most of us. And that should be what should inform our dream. Common aspiration, as I said earlier, for life, living, and essentialism. Let there be integrity. Let there be integrity and honor above all. Let there be generational appreciation. And young brothers and sisters, don't let anybody come and tell you you are leaders of tomorrow. You are leaders today. If you wait till tomorrow, that tomorrow will have been destroyed before you get there. Leaders today. If take into law, young to run. We have a law on that now. Huh? Not too young to run. At the age of 80, I am competing with my grandson, 30. I'm competing with my son of 55. And I say, you are not too young to run. Then when will you have the space to run? With your time. Don't let anybody tell you. And let us come up. Succinct slogan of we want and need. Try something better, I'm sure. An inclusive society. And a land of peace, security, stability, and opportunity for all, where character, values, and attributes are not ignored, where equity, justice, and competence are ordered, encouraged. Among all generations without any discrimination. That covers whatever you may think of. It covers generation gap, it covers aspiration, covers opportunity, covers justice, equity. As I said, you can do better. May be able to come up with something better. But let us have a Nigerian dream that builds together, inspires, and drives. Builds, holds together, inspires, and drives. That should be our dream. This is the type of thing I enjoy, and I love it. Young people who are intelligent, outspoken, who are courageous, then who need to learn. I'm here to teach. Osita, whatever our first national anthem contained, did not contain, it was not written by a Nigerian. And for me, I said that while I'm here, we're not short of Nigerians who are able and who are capable. When I have to go out, I will go out. I have pride as a black man. That's one of the reasons why I fought the way I fought apartheid. If I have honor and dignity, and there's a black man or a black woman anywhere in the world who is regarded as second-class citizen because of the color of his or her skin, I am as diminished as that black man or black woman. That's my position. And I dare say that the present anthem any way inferior to the first one. And for me, it has all that you need. In fact, the second stanza, people now use it as prayer. Now, what more do you need? Prayer that you know God will answer. Now, I am an incurable optimist about Nigeria. And you know that. There are things that we should have that we haven't had. And that will remain. There's no country in the world that has it all. It's important. Critical mass. And I said that earlier. All that you are saying, well, we had it, as you yourself said, then why did they disappear? And you were there when the railway was washed away. You were there. We were working on the electricity. We have ordered all that we needed for the 10,000 megawatts. What happened? The other day, GEC man came to me, General Electric, said 2 of the turbines are still not installed. We left government in 2007. That's more than 14 years ago. 2 of the turbines are still not installed. So, the way forward for the youth, first of all, please, don't be hopeless. Let me know what I know about Nigeria. Get it right. In 2 years, we will forget everything that happened. 2 years. And all we need is one generation. Nigeria will be one of the 10 leading nations of the world. Just one generation. One generation of 25 years. And you are the ones who will do it. For me, I haven't taken the boarding pass yet, but I'm nearing the departure lounge. Now, you are the hope of today and tomorrow for Nigeria. That's why I say don't let anybody tell you of tomorrow. If you don't take it now, you will never take it. I said, you have to be positively disruptive. Don't accept things as they are. Positively disruptive. And that's the way. Type of thing that we are talking about, that Osita is talking about. Say, let us rethink democracy. Let us rethink the content and the context of our own democracy. No African language, and I have done extensive work that has loyal opposition. We don't have it. Because the word for opposition in all the African languages that I've looked at is enemy. And what do you do to the enemy? Then you say you have got it. What have you got? So enemy now you have got. Now, let us. There are many things that we have taken line and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. What we are saying is, let's interrogate. Let's ask ourselves, this, why is this? You cannot have any government that will work adequately for you without your history, your culture, and your value in it. What is your history in democracy? Osita, what is your history, Nigerian history in democracy? What is Nigeria culture in democracy? What is Nigeria value? Now we have communalism. In my village, you don't go and go to village meeting and say, and you work on consensus. I end that question because you asked me what you can do. The king of Morocco, not the present one, his father, I was close to his father. I was close to the present king, who is doing well too. I was to his father. Brilliant. Going to receive an American delegation. And he knows that the Americans believe in democracy. So he set up his team. You on the right, you are the government. You on the left, you are the opposition. When they come, you must be. Came and government was abusing the one on the left. And they went away and said, now Morocco is the epitome of democracy. Now, please, first, get into despair. Because if you don't do it, who else will do it? Let us ask the right question at the right time, in the right place, and in the right number. When I said be positively disruptive, I mean that. Negative, not violence. But ask questions and let those. I said to somebody once, I said, look, all these things that you are talking, we will move. Nobody will want to move unless he has been properly tuned. But when you sit down, two of you, and it's in the center, and you start pushing, when he becomes uncomfortable, he will go. How do you make those who need to be made uncomfortable? That's your solution.
I do a program called Political Paradigm, and one of the topics that we talked about recently were your comments about Western liberal democracy, and you've alluded to a lot of that today on your program. One of the criticisms that people have had of that statement from you is the fact that the presidential system of government that we practice in Nigeria was introduced by you. Now, when you say that we need to have a homegrown democratic system, what exactly do you mean? The argument is that the problem is not the system that we operate, but the operators of that system. What do you have to say about that, sir?
I've said to you now, African society and African culture, there's no word for loyal opposition. You have loyal opposition. So how do you deal with that? Now, they have election and they say you go to court. After the election has been rigged, go to court. And the man who asks you to go to court, he knows what he will do. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yes, I came in, and in fact, when I established democracy, I left government. That's what we know. And if you are going to establish anything different, markedly different, and don't forget, up to 1979, we have parliamentary system. Our presidential system is a move forward from that, because our presidential system has a situation where you have a president who was not ruling, he was reigning. And in African society, you don't have a king who reigns and doesn't rule. So we then went, because that was a problem for us, the parliamentary system. You were not born then, with all due respect. Now, so we then said, look, we must have a king who reigns and rules. That's our system. Now, we have tried it. We have seen it. And what you are saying is that when you find that something is bad, you must continue with it. Einstein said, are doing the same thing, which is not working, and you continue to do it, that's height of stupidity. I don't want to be stupid. So we have tried this for so long. Now let us analyze. Let's ask ourselves. Now, if you have asked, if you rethink, and you come to the conclusion that that's what you should continue on it. But what stops you from rethinking, asking the question? So if you are from Channel, go back to Channel. Wait, just give me that. I will not talk about institution. I will not talk about INEC. I will not talk about judiciary. I will not talk about executive. I will not talk about legislature. And I mean that if you want to raise a general issue, raise a general issue. Now, I will not talk about that. I was born and bred in a village. And if you could take me out of the village, you couldn't take the village out of me. So I am still a village boy. And I mean that. My upbringing, my birth, and everything was rural. I told you that I did not see telephone until I was in secondary school. I did not wear a pair of shoes until I was in Form 3. Now, my children will even tell me, look, you don't know how to use this thing, Daddy. My background is different from yours. If you will say, oh, yeah, you will use what I use, because what I was exposed to different from what you are exposed to today. Now, so it cannot be the same on all fours. But you can find out, you can ask me, oh, you have a particular problem. Yes, I have a particular problem in school. I have to work to finance myself and get myself out of school and finish up secondary school. Now, I wonder whether some people can still have their schools where there can be facilities for that type of thing. So, if you had decided I was going to join the army, and I joined the army, and when I passed the exam to go into the army and the interview, I also had a scholarship. That scholarship is not available today. It was a scholarship for students from non-self-governing territories. And only a few countries that are independent and they have no problem of colonialism that give it. India, America, and I got the scholarship to read theology in America. Now, I then said, well, look, since they could delay that for 1 year, let me try the army. And I went into the army and I passed and I continued. And then the story. Now, so if you say yes, what did you encounter? How do you solve that or take that? It's not the same on all fours. At the stage, I had to go to the war front. Soldiers today, even if you are a soldier, you may not have to go to the war front. So how do you handle that problem? There are so many, but the point is this. There are opportunities. And you will see on what I read out, I did not talk of equal opportunities. Because opportunities may not be equal. What is important is that there are opportunities. When you may make use of it, you may not. But what is important is hope. Keep hope alive. Whatever situation, keep hope alive. Thank you.